Orange and Peach Sky. This is a story about a family. Orange parked her car in the apartment building's parking lot, turned off her car, thought twice about waking up her daughter in the passenger seat, and instead stared through the windshield at the sunrise. What a beauty, she thought. She also recounted the last few hours. She and her daughter, Sky, were crab fishing at 3 a.m. in complete darkness, like they were living in a black hole. Orange enjoyed crab fishing for several reasons, one of which was that she just liked the time in between catches, where she could think about things she normally couldn't think about, and experience things she normally couldn't experience. Crab fishing was special because everyday duties, which usually dictated most of her thoughts, got pushed to the rear. On the pier waiting for crabs, she could dive within her own memories of Peach, her deceased wife, the love of her life. Orange read somewhere that memories, that's all that's left. And she felt that that wasn't wrong. It maybe just wasn't the whole story. Because when she was crab fishing, she felt like she was reliving a memory, not simply remembering it. Orange looked at her vegan daughter and felt joyous that Sky was beside her. Sky didn't believe in eating, capturing, or murdering other living things. She stuck to this conviction like it was the pride of her life. Instead of getting her hands bloody, Sky would sit on a fold-up chair, a dim light stand by her body, and write in her journal. Sky enjoyed imagining what the crabs felt, how crabs and humans were intimately connected to each other and to other living beings, how they were all equal. She thought her mother enjoyed having company on these trips, and she was right. Orange enjoyed spending time with her daughter, and it meant a lot to Orange just to have her daughter with her at 3 a.m., facing the icy winds together. Orange understood that Sky didn't want to participate in capturing the crabs, and now Orange would always release the crabs she caught. Whoever said adults can't learn from children never had a child like Sky. But Sky would add, "Mom, if you're going to release the crabs after capturing them, why even catch them in the first place? Why harm them to begin with?" Orange tried not to hurt others because she believed in the possibility of multiple lives. Why not? But she also knew that old habits were hard to break, especially when they conjured up fond and cathartic memories of Peach. Whenever memories were insufficient, Orange would drive to the pier and relive her memories as best she could. For Peach used to stand in that exact spot. Who's to say that the air Peach breathed out back then wasn't still there, and now inside of Orange's own body, swimming in and out of her cells. Without these crabbing trips, Orange felt so separate from Peach, and she felt that her memories of Peach were receding into the darkest abyss of her mind. Then she would feel alone, but Orange's friends made her feel like being alone was an anachronism, a foreign concept, because they argued that there is so much to feel connected to: people, animals, nature, the sky. Although she agreed with them in theory, in practice, it was so much harder. Orange stared at her 27-year-old daughter and thought, "Oh, my beautiful little girl, so peaceful in the passenger seat, getting her beauty sleep." Orange felt lucky, like she won the lottery with her daughter. She glanced at her daughter's fingers and saw the Bobo jewelry diamond ring on her daughter's ring finger. Sky called her 2 weeks ago while she was still at Yellowstone National Park and told her Oak had just proposed to her earlier that day. Sky was so excited to tell her mom about their engagement. "Mom, it was perfect. He took me out to the fields and told me to stand on a large boulder. He then pointed to the distant mountains and told me how he wanted to hike up that ridge if I was up to it. I looked closely at the ridge he pointed at, but it was a bit hard to see, but I thought I saw the ridge. And staring at the ridge was a brilliant focal point for staring at those mountains. So I marveled at the distant mountains and the warm sunrise surrounding my body. The slight breeze through the air reminded me of that ocean breeze whenever you and Mom took me boogie boarding. And when I looked back down, he was on one knee with a ring in both fingers, and he asked me to marry him. And well, you know, the rest is history. Orange burst out crying on the phone, her happiness flowing down her face, enough to fill a 5-gallon water container. "Mom," Sky said, "don't cry. Why are you crying?" Her mom responded, "I'm just so happy for you, Sky. Thanks for calling and telling me. You've made my day." "No problem, Mom." After I said yes, and while we were embracing each other, I heard a rustle behind us, and I was scared that a grizzly bear might be sneaking up on us. But when I looked back, it was our closest friends. Oak had told me that none of our friends could make the trip, but there they were, approaching us with balloons tied to handmade signs saying, "Congratulations," and "Sky and Oak together forever." One of my friends even filmed the entire moment. I'll show you the video when I get back. It was amazing because it's the first time all of my closest friends were together. After the proposal, Oak, my friends, and I went to a restaurant, and I ordered 2 of my favorite dishes, the vegan tom yum noodle soup and the vegan ganchul. They weren't as delicious as the home-cooked ones you used to make, but they were surprisingly delicious. I mean, I didn't have high expectations about the food, being in Yellowstone and all. Look, Mom, I gotta go now. Oak, our friends, and I are gonna start our hike soon. We're gonna start our hike up that ridge that he showed me earlier. I'm super excited. Her mom responded, "Yeah, sure thing. I'll talk to you later. Have fun, stay safe, and thanks again for calling." They hung up. Orange marveled at her daughter in the passenger seat. My little girl, all grown up, getting married, starting a new chapter. Her eyes teared up again. She was so excited for her daughter. Orange caught herself thinking, "My little girl" again, and reminded her of how Sky wasn't always sunny and glorious. Sky was a handful sometimes too. A few months ago, Sky got mad at her if she called Sky her little girl in public. Sky would argue how she wasn't a little girl anymore and how it embarrassed her whenever her mom called her that. Sky said, "Mom, we've been over this before. You gotta change for me, okay? You get me?" Orange would say, "Okay, I'll try." But Orange also knew that old habits were hard to break, and when she spoke, it felt that some words came out so naturally. They argued back and forth, and Sky just kept getting angrier and angrier until Sky became silent, letting go and giving up, and out of love, refused to argue. A few days after the fight, Orange received a letter in the mail from her daughter, who lived only about 2 minutes away, walking. It was a pretty little inside joke. Orange read the letter and couldn't help crying and thinking her daughter was such a great writer, and she really believed that her daughter could do anything she set her mind to, even if her daughter didn't quite yet believe it herself. The last lines really struck Orange hard. "Mom, one last thing before I sign off. I was scrolling through Netflix with Oak, trying to find something to watch, and we ended up watching an extremely goofy movie because he said it was one of his favorites growing up, one of his staples, his words, not mine, and he wanted to watch it again for old time's sake. I guess I brought up the movie because there was a line that resonated with me. I may not be your little girl anymore, but I'll always be your daughter. Lovingly and warmly, Sky." Ocean folded the letter until it was the size of a post-it note and gently put the letter into her wallet. She wanted the letter to be with her forever, to never separate from it. She wanted to feel her daughter's presence with her always. So, in the car, looking at the sunrise and her resting daughter, she grabbed her wallet and read the letter again. Tears again. Still so magical, she thought. She didn't understand why it happened, but she knew that her daughter's letters and words struck deep to her core. Somehow, her daughter's words always seemed to penetrate her skin and snuggle next to her heart. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe, and check out other videos on this channel. Goodbye.